purpose of today, I guess, is to talk about the different types of services we sell at iCare Pro. We're also going to discuss the AM restructure because you guys missed it, because except for Rukama was there, but because that's what we did at the last boot camp in New York. Not New York, I want to say New York, Jerusalem. It's Jerusalem. It felt like New York because there's so many English speakers in one place, but still. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay, no, I saw someone. It's funny because I see like a whole screen. You can see like who's flipping off their mute. So it's like once you see that happen, it's like, okay, what's next? Okay, so here's AM restructuring. Yay. Can you guys see the screen? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. And I'm gonna take one more thing that needs to come out over here, which Lauren has definitely seen, and that is our we have like the handout that we've been passing out of the different types of services we have at iCare Pro. So we're gonna meet with the assumption that OD is still existing. The reason why we're doing that is because nothing is official yet. I know there's been a lot of talk back and forth, but nothing official has yet been said that whether or not we're definitely going to be moving on from OD and turning it into a save situation for as far as different practices are concerned. So we're going to start with OD Lite, and well, actually I'm not going to start yet. I just want to get, where is this document? I had it before, I was prepared, and then we hit a power outage. And when that happens, everything just goes down the toilet. Try this again. I just have to download off of an email. All right, I'm just gonna edit out all this stuff. Anything that I didn't mention that someone wants me to cover while we're here?
One of the things that always is a sort of a topic of conversation is the requirements of the onboarding team. And not so much the onboarding team, but what kinds of things get done in the first 3 months of onboarding. Now that you're not going to be the onboarding person anymore, it's probably going to be like a moot point. But often the people who are working as builders get that question. So what happens next, or what are they going to do, or what should I expect? And I think it would be helpful, just sort of a Cole's notes on these are the most important things that we're doing, or this is how we're communicating those things to the client.
Okay, so I guess we'll start the video with this because this is super important. So during the first 3 months, what ends up happening is that we make sure that your website is performing, that you're getting the patients you want and need, and that everything is going super smoothly. You're having a good experience. Your website's going where you want it to be. We're cleaning up your reputation, and we're making sure that everything is going A-okay and that you're going to want to stay with us long term. So during the onboarding process, during that first meeting, first conversation, we discuss the importance of Google My Business, of course. So we get control of their Google My Business. I get control of their Yelp and Facebook. Make sure that everyone gets added. Sabina gets added to Facebook. Yelp, we ask for logins, and Google My Business, we help them claim it if it's not claimed yet, or they add us to it. The goal is to make sure it happens during the phone call, because then we can get things started. I can get them within a day. I can get them on Get Set Review and put them in the new system. And there's a lot of different things that we can do with them to start off with. The biggest issues and the biggest problems that people usually approach us with onboarding is I can't find myself during a search. I can't find myself on the map. So I discuss with them, and we talk about that the first 3 months, we're going to be getting you to do reviews. We're going to put them on in a program that is going to make sure that, second, is it sharing the wrong screen? I picked the other screen. Anyway, so we're going to make sure that your listings are under control, that everything is optimized so that you're going to be able to be found as best as possible. Of course, reviews are part of it. We make sure that their on-site SEO is pristine by the end of 3 months.
Sorry,
That all the
Lenny.
court.
Sorry, the screen you're sharing is the comparison screen.
Okay, perfect. That's exactly where I need to be. Excellent.
Okay, all right, excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I have 2 screens, and you never know with these companies. The other screen says stop sharing the screen. So,
can I just
yes,
ask you a question just about
yes,
the onboarding process? Do you
yes,
discuss with them the importance of the call tracking and give them the heads up on
yes,
that
yes.
being done? There was some conversation at one point in time that, as part of the build, we should do the, get the Twilio number and yada, yada, yada. And I don't
No,
agree with that because I
not
think
at all.
people have a total cow when they look at their website and say, that's not my phone number, and it's shocking to them.
You're getting people complaining about the phone number after I've spent time explaining it to them, getting their landmark location so we can change it on the website, and review and explaining to them on a second call how we got the metrics on the report. And then you're getting the, oh my God, what's this number on my website? So yeah, don't put it on the build. It should go after.
Okay, all right,
Because
perfect.
yeah, it needs some finessing. Because they forget. There's nothing you can do about it. And I can email them after saying, hey, check this out. This is your number. It's just one of those things that we're going to have to deal with over time. So we do discuss that. We also discuss an onboarding their trajectory in the company. And this is where Lauren comes into play, and anyone else who's involved with sales, is that during the first phone call, we discuss the package itself a little bit, whatever they've been sold, and then we discuss where they can go in the company and what other things we have at our disposal that they could be using and they could be getting and be a part of. So all that being said, we talk about on-site SEO and off-site SEO and all the different things that we're doing for them to get found. And then we talk about content. So the content part depends on the type of program they're on, which we'll talk about when we go over the services comparisons. We discuss exactly what we're doing for them. The biggest differences between Light and Lingo is that one of them, we bother you and challenge you to write content for us until you don't give us the content that we want, and then we recommend upgrading because we'll do it for you and you don't have to worry about it. If you're Lingo, we plan out the first couple months. Within the first 3 months, we plan out like 6 months of the year to what we're writing for you, what we're doing for you, what's coming each month. If you're doing specialty, you're planning out what you're working on, what you're not working on, what's more important first, second, third, what's getting put on the website as time goes on, things move forward, what's important to you. We talk about the different types of forms for appointments, scheduling, whether it's through us or a third party. And any questions they have on the call, really. The goal of the first call is to get them acclimated and get things started. The best fun part of a second phone call with them, which is our first official meeting after the intake, is when they go, I looked at my website and I didn't really see any changes. Okay, look at your report. Yeah, I know. It says I got 6 more prospective new patients than last month, but I don't understand. I didn't see it. That's because a lot of the stuff we do is discrete because of the SEO. So they'll see gains and they'll see changes in keywords. They'll see changes in appointments over the 3 months. Unless for an OD Lite, unless they're passing along content, we'll talk about OD Lite in a second. They're not going to see major changes. If they're Lingo, they'll see some change. They'll see changes quicker. If they're specialty, then yeah, optical, yep, Metro for sure. So we'll talk about them now. So let's talk about, I hope that answered enough of the onboarding. We basically take care of the nitty gritty. Believe it or not, the email I send out after the intake includes things that they did as part of the build. Meaning I'll ask them, are all of your frame lines on the website? Any insurances, advanced technology? They'll send us a really majorly detailed list. It's fun because where they're building the website, they're really, really in a rush and they just want to get the website going. But when it comes to after the fact, and they want to make sure that they're getting all of the bang for their buck and really take advantage of our services, we get these long lists of frame lines, insurances, technology, and contact lenses, and pictures, and oh, and I forgot about this, I forgot about that. What's fun also about the intake is we find out all their specialties and everything that they're doing, or things that we can consider specialties. So let's talk about over here. So OD Site is our basic program. This is for Lauren. It's just a website, really. It's a website that, believe it or not, without optimization services, without any other marketing plans, in some areas, it's outperforming practices that have marketing services. And I've actually gotten complaints like, hey, there's this eye care pro website in our area, and it looks really old and disgusting, and it keeps on showing up above us on Google searches. And it's an old OD site that's never been updated. You know, the practice is just like really hands off. They're just doing the job, and whatever happens, happens. It's still showing up really well. All of our keywords, everything's baked into the websites. So right off the bat. So because after all, we put our websites together, we want to make sure that our clients are going to see return on investment. What's interesting about the $79.95 is that the industry average for a brand new appointment, no matter how they get to you, through insurance, not insurance, whether through contact lenses, not contact lenses, is $75, $80. So with one new patient, if the website drives in one new patient, even without our help, every single month, they're seeing return on investment. Now let's talk about our first plan over here, which is OD Lite. OD Lite is our starter package. Like, this is really the basics. They get content from us because of our websites. We optimize it, personalize it, make it specific to them on the top level pages as best as possible. They get reporting and call tracking, and they even get call recording if they want it. We can record the calls for them, and they get it to be able to be played back in a secure, HIPAA-safe environment. HIPAA, again, is Health Privacy America, but Canada is also covered. It's like what we do with the disabilities on the websites. So for Disabilities Act, we follow the ADA, which is the American side of things, because they're stricter than Canada. HIPAA, I'm not so sure. There's certain things that Canada is stricter than the US, especially about emails, emailing patients, but we follow whoever is stricter. But right now we're getting HIPAA compliancy through the compliancy group. We're going to get our badge hopefully soon. So we're focusing on the American side of things, and the Canadian side is covered as well. They get a marketing expert, and that is probably the biggest sale aspect that you'll have from any company that they deal with, because other companies are negligent, other companies don't follow through, and they don't have someone who's advising you on marketing best practices. We speak to, I'm leaving the market manager team, but at my biggest client load, I think I was at 96. And we deal with so many practices and so many different doctors. We learn everything that they're doing, and we pass it on to all the practices that we deal with. And between all the other marketing managers on the different teams, we talk about everything. So we're really able to guide these practices exactly what they need and how they need it. And our SEOs are trained to deal with all different types of crazy situations that they're going to find themselves in. And that's part of the advantage of being in one vertical, right? Because if you're constantly working with the same exact group all the time, and you start honing in how to do it well, you tend to be successful for that group pretty much almost all the time. Now, the visibility and search is part of it, and Google Trust, that's part of what we're doing on Yext, which is an aggregator that makes sure that your listings are all synchronized and have the same data. For those of you who are not sure how the guts work of that, we have a system where we enter in the data into our website. Our website publishes to Google My Business, and then Google My Business publishes to Yext. If someone makes a change in Google My Business, it does not change the website. The website then pushes the change back out to Google My Business. For those of you that are real techies, just a very quick second, what that means is that we didn't program it yet, but we're working on it, that if someone's logged into Google My Business on their account and then they make a change, that it stays, and it could even push to the website. But Joe, website visitor who happens to be on Google My Business and decides that the practice really should be open at 6 o'clock and not 5 o'clock, that won't make a change, won't make a difference at all. We're proof safe from that. Next up, the Google reviews are super duper important. Our app gets that review, allows them to, one, send out a review link to anyone they want to by email or phone. Two, it allows them to see their reviews, and three, it allows them to respond to their reviews right in one spot. This take control of their marketing efforts without reinventing the wheel. That's referring to our Facebook postings and our campaigns. So we send out to every single practice gets at least 2 Facebook posts a week from iCare Pro in general. We send it out to everybody. And then on top of that, they have campaigns that we program for them, depending on their needs and wants. If their practice does myopia control, we'll do myopia postings depending on the time of year. Now it's almost June. June, 90 to 99% of the company is going to be doing UV. And not only are they going to have...
So is there a limit on the number of custom ones you'll do?
Okay, now when you say custom, there are campaigns that we already have the base for them, and we just customize it to the practice. Okay. Where we're not really changing images or anything, we're just changing text and content in order to fit the practice's needs, which we do for everybody. It doesn't matter what level of service they're on. When you're talking about ones that are being made from scratch and ones that don't exactly exist in the system and they take more, that's more lingo and above. If we're doing more specialized stuff for them. But if you have stuff that already exists, why not? We just change the content, change this, change that. If they ask for change of a picture, it's generally not the end of the world on Light because it takes roughly like seconds to do it. It's like, it's not like a man-hour thing where everything's wild and crazy. It's just something that we just do. Soon, when all the coding is done, they'll be able to pick it themselves if they want to within GetSet Pro. What I'll do is, and I'll talk about lingos. I'll talk about it with lingos. And then improving search rankings with the dedicated search engine expert. That's our SEO team. And keeping the Facebook up to date. Those are the monthly posts that I mentioned at the beginning of the Facebook section. Sabina creates them. The marketing managers check them out, make sure that they're okay, and that the practices won't be upset by them. And then she goes back and changes them if she needs to, and then we put them, and then she sends them out. That's OD Lite in a nutshell. The goal of OD Lite is to really get them started, get their appetite wet, get them going, get the patients coming in, get return on investment for them. In my first conversation on my intake, we'll explain what it is, what it's about, and then I'll tell them based on what their practice has inside of it, based on their specialties, based on a whole different host of variables, this is your trajectory in the company. So you might start with OD Lite, and then you move to OD Lingo or specialty, depending on what you feel your needs are at that time. If you're ready to just go crazy with specialties and move you to that, we'll talk about it. So they're already know what we have, what our resources are, what we have available, and then we're able to pitch it to them. OD Lingo might be defunct soon, but we're going to talk about it anyway. OD Lingo does what Light does, except we provide content, and that's super important. If a doctor does not on Light, we'll challenge them like crazy. Write this, write that, write the other thing. If they don't, then they don't have time. We have lingo to offer them. Remember, the way Google works is as follows, and is that your cell phone and your account, whatever device you're on, Google's able to see where you are. Google knows all about your habits and everything if you're logged in, If you're not logged in, they put cookies on your computer, your phone anyway. If you downloaded the Google app, then they're tracking that as well. Those are called implicit queries. Those are things that Google implicitly knows about you. Then there's the explicit query. The explicit query is what a patient or anybody or visitor, you, types into the computer explicitly of what they want. Then Google takes all that information, it looks all around, and it checks all the different websites very, very quickly, obviously. And then it pulls back search results based on all the content available to them. One thing that you might not realize is that even if you look at the map results lately, underneath the result, it'll tell you why it pulled that up, why it shows that. So if you're doing a search for eye exams, I'll give you like a doctor's office. I'll say, this is here, this result is here because it says eye exam on their website. So content is super duper important. And practices seem to think that it's on its own, that content is important because people need to read. It's not that people need to read. It's that Google gives it importance. Google works in words. That's its currency. And not the more words you have on the website, the better. That's not it. It's how strategic you are with your words. For example, if I have on my homepage a little bit about dry eyes, and then I have a page about dry eyes, and then I have another page inside about dry eye symptoms, another page about dry eye treatments, and another page about dry eye, and what we have, products, I guess. And they're all made unique, and they're all with local SEO, meaning that they have the practice's address and areas, and it mentions their cities and towns and some local stuff as well about them. Then Google's going to give a lot of weight when people are doing specific searches for dry eye in that area, and they'll show that practice. Well, Lingo also was important for helping practices build up their specialties if they don't have. So Lingo, not only do we provide content, but we're also helping you build up specialties. And there are a lot of things that practices don't consider specialties either. Like if a practice does pediatric eye care, but they're not doing orthokeratology, those are those contact lenses that they put in their eyes overnight and they take them out in the morning and then they can see well all day. If a practice is not doing that, then they don't consider themselves being specialists in myopic control. But that's not true because they're still doing soft contact lenses and they're doing soft multifocals, which is excellent also. And some of them even do atropine, which is a type of drop. And there's like all these other things that they're doing that will, if we write it correctly and we angle it in the right way, then they're able to be considered a specialist. And as we all know or don't know, typical people are traveling between 5 miles to 7 miles or 7 to 10 kilometers to go to their local, to go for an eye exam. They're not traveling much further unless they're going for a specialty. And like I always tell my doctors, no one comes back and says, man, that was a comprehensive eye exam. I mean, let me tell you that the machinery there, the equipment, it was off the hook. It was amazing. Nobody says that about an eye exam. Unless you're me. I came back from Vision Expo totally like amazed by the Optos, California, and the pictures I got from my eyes. Something like that, yes. And something like that, the practice gets more money for because they charge anywhere from $35 to $100 for that, depending on how they bill it and how they do it. But people don't generally come back and say that was the best eye exam I ever had. What they do say is, I felt like I had something in my eye, like for the longest time. And then I went to that doctor. Let me tell you, they cured it. That like, I'm so much better now. You have to go there. So that's something that, you can go ahead and say like, all right, someone's going to travel far for that. Or my kids' eyes were getting worse and I had to get new prescription for them. Like every 6 months, we're getting a new prescription. It's getting worse and worse. We went there and we tried this, we tried soft multi. They finally came up with this thing called orthokeratology, and my son, or my daughter puts her contact lens in their eyes, and like people travel far for that. So that's what also makes OD Lingo more powerful than Light, is because we can start controlling the message, writing for them and putting it out there. So it gives them some, helps out with patient acquisition as well, because we said it fills up the content and gives Google something to read and pull upon in order to drive people over to them. The video library is, we also create part of our content creation. Everyone thinks of content as just words, but we also do videos as well. And the videos that we do are not spoken videos. They're animated or graphical with words, because we found, and professionals have found, that people will just go onto Facebook and watch a video without sound. And those videos get a lot of engagement, the ones that you don't have to hear, because a lot of times people are traveling, they're mixed company, and not that's not safe for work, but more along the lines of you don't want to disturb people around you. So you watch a video, you don't necessarily have to listen to it. Lingo also has custom campaigns, which means, again, we do a lot of stuff for trunk shows. The trunk show stuff, which are those are special shows where a frame manufacturer or even contact lens manufacturer will come to the practice and do demos and give special discounts and show off their latest lines, and patients will come in, and there's generally food and entertainment and good stuff. Some practices will even bring in a makeup artist to help people like try out these frames and see how you look in it and have the makeup match the frames so that you look all good, and they do all these different things. So for light, we do that also. We help out with that, but we don't go so crazy all out with assisting. We just do whatever they send over and make it look nice. But as far as lingos are concerned, we'll do a little bit more. We'll also do custom campaigns where they'll tell us what they want from scratch, and we'll go from there and we'll do it. Not just take existing campaigns, but we'll create the campaigns for them. If the needs be that that you have an issue or a problem or something, and they need another backlink, we're able, which a backlink is a link to your website listed on another website that's not yours, and that has no real relation or connection to you. That's called a backlink. We'll do strategic press releases as well, and other stuff like that. That's lingo. And yeah, the advanced SEO optimization website, online listings, there's nothing really special about that we're doing per se. We do it for lights that are having a problem. We'll go for health grades, we'll go for Apple Maps, we might even go for Waze and other things. If outside of that, there's no real special SEO that's going on, we're just making sure, again, that you're getting the right amount of patients for return on investment. Now remember, for OD Light, I forgot, about 8 patients shows return on investment, because 7 will break even based on $50 per patient that we figured out a long time ago. That's what the practice is really getting, not revenue, but that they're getting net. So let's say it's $50 a patient. So 7 times 5 is $350. So that's how much, and that's how much we charge for light. So if they get an 8th patient, great. And for lingo, it will be that 12th patient will bring them into the black. Now let's talk about specialty. Specialty was created because these practices, with lingo, they were asking for a lot of different types of content, and they're asking us to write content on dry eye and content on vision therapy and all different types of specialty areas that are very lucrative for the practice. If you think about scleral lenses are good for dry eye. They are made to fit the eye, so that way, made to fit your eye, so that way even people that have a hard time wearing contacts in general, they're able to fit into scleral lenses. Scleral lenses are also used for keratoconus. They're very lucrative. Practices can get like $1,000 per patient for them. Like they're expensive. Same thing with Ortho-K for myopia control. So we said those patients are a lot more lucrative for the practice. Let's make a program that fits those patients. Now, a typical practice generally has like one doctor. A lot of our practices have a single practitioner. Then they go out and they get themselves their associate. The associate comes in and they either have a specialty, or the doctor has a specialty that they really want to do and they don't have time. So they have that extra person come in and they're going to do the general appointments while the doctor does the specialty appointments. And that's why specialty is so powerful, because it frees up the doctor it allows the doctor to do all these different programs, all of these different things that they otherwise wouldn't be able to do and get these patients. And the radius you're pulling from could be 30, 40 miles away. You know, it has a far reach. And when we put the content in the website, see, it says authoritative mini sites that include a library of content, instantly positions your practice. It's true. We do it we used to do it in a very fast pace. We used to put the mini sites in, and then we started rolling things out slowly into it. They seem to have rolled that back a little bit, and now you're starting with 2 or 3 pages, and then we're adding more after the fact. The blogs for specialty. Now, I just wanted to talk about blog for a second because everyone in iCare Pro gets blog postings, but only Lingos and above get them, and they're going to be optimized and visible. What that means is.
Sorry, OD Lite are not going to get blog posts anymore?
No, that's not what I said. OD Lite will get blog posts.
Okay.
OD Lite's blog posts are hidden from Google because then it's content that's the same all over the internet, and you can't have that. The reason why iCare Pro is able to get away with websites that have the same content or similar content is because Google views us as a franchise. Every single website that has that at icarepro.net on the bottom of it with the copyright, Google's looking at us like we're a franchise. And if you think about Tim Hortons, Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, or whatever, they all have the same messaging and the same types of things inside, even though we're in different locations, and they might have a little bit of different feel, but it's still the same product and the same everything. So iCare Pro is not getting penalized across the board, and our websites don't get penalized for it, which is why when I go to a show and someone says to me, but iCare Pro is duplicate content. Yeah, so what's your point? You don't have content. You're providing your patients with nothing. Your practices are coming to you, you're writing them from scratch, you're getting it wrong, and you're ignoring your websites. Okay, rant over. Now, back to specialty. So the blog postings that we send out to everybody, until now, they were all hidden. So Google couldn't find them or scrape them or see them or know that they exist so that they don't hurt our practices. But we're changing it, and we're making that OD Lite and above. We're going to personalize the blogs, and then we're going to have them out there so Google can find them. And that's what same thing's going to happen for those specialty blogs. Specialty blogs, so they get a specialty blog that goes up in one per specialty. So they have multiple specialties. They're getting multiple blogs for each specialty over the course of the month. They're getting a page. They're getting customized videos. We have special videos that we have already existing, but we can customize those or we create them from scratch. As a company, we like creating these videos because it gives us more content and more things that we can build upon for later to use with other practices. That's not to say that we copy them wholesale, but it's, if you're a writer, you'll know that sometimes it's just much easier to start with something already on the page rather than having to start from a blank slate. Now the video editing is also important because a lot of these doctors get referral videos from their patients. And they get testimonials, and they want those testimonials up there. They don't want. I'll be funny about it, but you don't want a testimonial video that looks like a hostage video, where they're just like talking under duress. You want it to look a bit nicer than that. So we edit it. We'll put let's say the logo at the beginning of the video, or some kind of messaging, maybe a little bit of music. Of course, if someone's talking about like how horrible their eyesight was, we're not going to make it sound like it's a party. But appropriate music, appropriate editing, and it's going to look nice. Referral development, and this is an interesting one. This is the beginning of OD referral. So that being said, the referral program is $750, also like OD specialty. What happens is, as part of OD specialty, they'll take the referral program and they will give it to the doctor and say, here's how you do it. Here's how you reach out to all these different practices, to all these different doctors in your area, all these practices, all these schools, all these places. This is exactly how to do it. Run along, and do well. And practices that can handle it will try. You can hire a college kid, you get someone from the staff, they call over to different doctors, but the referral program doesn't necessarily work for them if they're not going to put in the time and the effort in order to get those referrals to come in. Now, what the referral means is that if I do myopia control and no one else around me does myopia control, I want all the schools to know about it. I want all the other doctors to know about it. I want everyone to know that I'm the one who's doing it. Don't worry about it. Send people over to me for that, because, and I'll scratch your back also. Whatever you work out with them. But once you do that, you're trying to you're getting more people into the practice that way. That being said, if the referral doesn't work out, the doctor doing it themselves, then they'll hire us for $750 to do it for them, and that's where the fun comes in, because it's not marketing managers, it's not account managers. I think it's not typical marketing like we've done it until now. And the referrals are so valuable to these doctors that are doing these high value specialties that they're willing to pay for it. We even have one doctor who told Josh that as we develop our lists for all these different specialties, he's willing to pay $750 for each individual program. That's how powerful these doctors are viewing the referral program, and that's how important it is to them. Advanced SEO and online listing management, same as before. What happens with specialty though is that a lot of these practices will try to build new citations for themselves. Citation, again, is like a listing online, and they'll try to Joe's Low Vision. I mean, you have like Joe's website is right over there, Joe's eye care and health, and then they're like, no, but Joe's Low Vision. It's so important that we have our own name. So they'll try to develop something else that will help them out with it. Generally, it doesn't work. It's better to just have a really strong core website and work off of that, because that way you can, funnel all the traffic around. But they try. Custom brochures and graphics, yes, we have that. We have brochures made up. We can change it for them, and then if they need something a little bit more custom, we can do a little bit stronger than that. And the specially focused blogs, which we talked about earlier. Metro is basically everything and anything that we do. Now, every program that we have includes all the local SEO for one location. Only any additional location is $50 more. Oh, before I talk about Metro, we also have something called OD Optical, which is also $750. OD Optical is a program that fits any practice that has an optical. An optical means that they sell glasses and contacts. Not just contacts, but glasses and contacts. One other thing that I'll just mention, corporate practice. If someone uses the term corporate practice, that's talking about a practice that's like in a lens crafters or any kind of place where it's only eye exams and it's only medical. If they're in the lens crafters, they might do contact lenses also. If they're in a Walmart or a Costco, there's a 99% chance they're not doing contact lenses at all. It's just eye exams. And those doctors are the ones who are very medical. Those are doctors who will try to push for specialty and try to develop specialties, and we'll get a couple of those doctors on the specialty program. OD Optical, on the other hand, was created to help practices understand that they are also retail. They're not just a medical facility. Eye doctors don't think about it that way. They don't realize they bought all these contact lenses. They bought all these frames. They're like, oh, I got this high-end this and the crystal that, and that's a lens. I have I don't know, the latest Tom Fords, and they got these Schnuckel frames, and I got all these different things in my practice, and they're so cool, they're so expensive, and they don't know how to sell it because they're not a retail unit outfit. They're just view themselves as a medical facility. So what we do is we educate them. OD Optical actually has a medical component, has an educational component. OD Optical has special designs that are not open to the rest of EyeCare Pro. They're only for OD Optical because they put optical first and medical second. You can have, and we actually have some practices that do optical and specialty together for $1,000 because it's $750 plus $250. So that way you have a practice that has a really heavy, strong optical, and they also do specialties. We sell both. Why not? That being said, OD Optical also has the feature of, in the 4th month of its existence, that your practice is using it, we will also send a camera crew and videographer to your location. And they'll take beautiful pictures, they'll take video, and that will help program and power our Instagram efforts for your practice for the rest of the year. Because that's actually a program that we do post Instagram, not on the others. What else can I tell you about optical? They get optical blog. They get, like I said, they get training information, videos, whatever, for the practice. They also have a dedicated marketing manager who is actually running the program. Right, the one who's doing it right now is the one who's running the program. She's also going to be working with the practices. They get special pages for frame lines. They get optimized pages are local. For those frames and for the optical. The goal of that plan is to push to the practice patients that are not just looking for eye exams, but will continue down the line and buy glasses and contacts too. OD Metro is an all-inclusive program, $1,500 a month, includes up to 3 locations. This is the kind of program that you're going to go on if you are in a big metro area and there's a lot of competition. If you have multiple locations, it's just we focus on backlinks for them. We do ad management as part of the program. Also, we'll manage your ads included. Especially content, video. Basically, they get what all the other programs get and more. We're very flexible with them. We sort of treat it like a concierge program. The ones that are doing it and it works well for them. And then you get a Dr. Chen. So, you know how it is. What else? Any questions about any of the programs we talked about so far? I didn't mention any of the MD programs at all because they're still sort of in development. They're not really being sold yet, or they are being sold. The difference between OD and MD is that an MD is an actual real doctor. They're the ones that do the surgeries, like they're the ophthalmologists. So they're the ones that are doing the cataract surgeries and all the other and the LASIK surgeries and all that good stuff. Our other doctors help management. They do management. They help before and after. That's what I wanted to mention about sclerals. Sclerals are also good for for patients that had a botched LASIK surgery and it didn't work out. You can put them in scleral lenses and they're able to see well, and it works out nicely for them. The last program that we have is an add-on. It's called ODPPC. It's $250 a month. Our team is getting better every month. I see the results, and we're getting better and better at it. And it's actually going super well this year. And we had a whole bunch of sales this week. May has been PPC month. We've had a lot of sales of PPC. Everyone's very confident in the product. So it's working out well. And we're doing responsive ads. We're doing display ads. We're doing all different types of ways to get them shown on Google. And that's all part of it. To the future, we're looking to do Facebook, and we're looking to other venues in other places to run ads. Any questions so far?
Lenny.
Yes.
Can we get a copy of this document that you're showing? Okay,
absolutely.
That would be great. It has so much good information on it.
Yes, and it's not up to date because it doesn't have OD Optical on it. I'll send out that separately.
Okay.
So let's see what else is going on here. Oh, I got a message. Cool. Who left a message? Oh, ditto. Okay, great. Final thing before we go is the AM restructure. We're just gonna, yep, that's pretty much right. So the salient points are as follows. One, they're now, I'll just present, why not? Here we go. They're now the SEO analyst team because that's what they do. I think they wanted SEO analyst marketers. I'm going to know at 8 o'clock. It's almost after time. We had a vote on it yesterday, what everyone should be called in their bottom of their emails. But essentially, we're the SEO team because that's what we do. There we go. And here's the restructure. So I'm going to exit the, oh, not presenting. I just wanted to show this slide. I'll present again. There we go. Where can I move this? Full screen. All right, so, oops, no, sorry about that. Okay, so it starts off with Olga, who is ahead of the onboarding, obviously. For those of you that have been in the company, you know Olga. If not, she's awesome. I've been working with her for about 3 years now, and I'm moving off of the onboarding team, and now I'm going to be running this team. Olga is awesome. During the first few months, she sets up all the accounts, everybody with exactly what they need. And then she's going to pass them off to Sarah. Now, Olga is also going to be doing the SEO for specialty and optical and everyone else in the company that starts off in iCare Pro. So it doesn't matter what team you're on. It doesn't matter who's supposed to be working with you. It doesn't matter what marketer you're working with. You're always going to start with Olga. And then it's going to go down to the maintenance team if you're at specialty, or the special projects team, or it's going to end, right. So some of them are going to go, to maintenance. It's going to be anyone that is lingo or light could go to maintenance after onboard. Sorry, I'm explaining it wrong. Let's start again from the beginning. We have onboarding. It goes from her to Sarah to SEO operations if they are lingo or light. Or if you are optical, specialty, or metro, it goes down to the special projects team, which is Elon, who's all the way on the bottom of the screen. After Sarah, it'll go to the maintenance team or the growth team. And the way it works is as follows. If you are engaged, you are a doctor who is engaged, you don't miss your monthly phone calls, you're providing us with, if you're light and providing us with content, if you're a lingo, you're providing us with direction, and we're constantly working together, we feel you're a partner with us, you're on the growth team because we want you to grow. We want the lights to grow and upsell and grow into being lingos, and we want the lingos to grow into be optical or specialty. So the growth team is going to continue figuring out ways to really help them max out on their time in iCare Pro so that they can move on to other teams that they can really grow and do well on. Maintenance SEO is not client-driven. Those are people that are, well, that's the best way to put it, unengaged. They're not really on the monthly phone calls. Or if they're on the monthly phone calls, you ask them about content, you ask them about what's going on in the practice, like, I'm getting patients, it's fine, and I'm happy, it's all good. Not that they don't want to see growth, but they're not putting the work into what we're doing, so they're on the maintenance team. Now, the difference between the maintenance team and the growth team is that the maintenance team is going to have a lot of things that are automated that's going to happen for these practices every single month. And if we know the no-call schedule practices, having things that are automated that are going to happen for them, it's going to be great because they're always going to continue, hopefully, doing a little bit better each time. The growth team, again, it's to get them to move forward. And then we have the troubleshooting team, which is Bernard. And that's a team where the bottom 20% of lights and lingos that are not in onboarding are going to be with Bernard, and possibly even some specialties as needed. He has the skills to push up and help out practices that are in danger. The advantages to this structure, there are advantages and disadvantages to this structure that they were showing you over here. One advantage, this is just showing marketing manager load. Michael can actually work with 6 account managers. Donnie can work with 3 based on that last thing because there's multiple account managers to different marketing managers. The marketing managers are client-facing, so we can't switch them off with the account managers. That's just going to be silly over time. It's not going to make sense. We can always switch out the account managers. And all the account managers have different bandwidths. They have different skill sets. They have different wants, different needs, different abilities. And what this setup allows us to do, it allows us to sort of create like this assembly line, so to speak, where everyone's always working towards their strengths. Always. And that's a very good thing. Let's see, the Restructure. So here are the concerns, MM and AM communication, accountability, and all that kind of good stuff. We're setting up a place in Ninja where marketing managers and account managers, instead of having our weekly meetings, We're going to have a document. We have a document we use anyway for our weekly meetings, but we're going to have this document sit in one place in Ninja, and it's able to be entered in over the course of the month. And then there'll be a place for the marketing manager also to ask questions and to have dialogue and conversation with the account manager about their account and different big issues. And for the account manager, I'm sorry, I'm saying account manager, I meant SEO, to tell the marketing manager what the issues are and what the problems are and what they need from them for the practice as well. So if they need them to help claim health grades, or they need extra locations because we've maxed out, we're doing amazingly for Carrollton, so now we need somewhere else to do well, they'll be able to get that there as well. So a lot of these issues and concerns, over time, they should disappear for the most part. It's really in dividing up the practices. So know who's responsible for which account based on which account manager is listed in Ninja. So, so let's say Sarah could be working with all the marketing managers. It depends on, except for all the specialty managers, what I mean? Like you can end up with account managers are working with multiple marketing managers, and marketing managers work, and everyone's going to have their place inside. This is not what it's going to look like, but this was the idea of Team Notes area. Right, so growth versus maintenance, we talked about that. The maintenance team is going to be a little bit more automated. The growth team is going to be more manual in what they do. So that way that whoever's working with the maintenance practices, they'll be able to work with a lot of them, because if a lot of things are automated, you have more time to do other things. And that's going to help out as well with managing all the different practices we have. The best thing about all this is, as compared to before, is it allows us to not miss any SEO at all. And there's never going to be break in SEO. Till now, the way it's been structured is you have all the different people working with all these different practices, and it's difficult because you can't wrap your headspace around working with Old Metro, and then later on in the day you're working with an OD corporate, which doesn't really exist anymore. So we're not talking about OD corporate, and you're going to talk about another practice and a different kind of practice, another kind of practice, and you're all over the place. And you're working on your neediest practices first, and then you end up running out of time for the practices that you really need to spend more time on, but they're doing really well, but they also have their needs. This should eliminate all of that and allow things to work. I've told the SEO team to really look at the month and make a calendar for yourself and put all the practices in your calendar, so that way you know that nothing's falling through the cracks, everyone's being worked on, and you have a set schedule. And when you get up to it, you just put the notes in for the marketing manager, and they'll see them. And then if they have questions before a phone call, they can always reach out with questions. But work will always get done, and we should see growth from everybody from this. And like we said before, that Bernard has the lowest 20% in the company. That doesn't mean that the lowest 20% of the company always has to be failing. By working with them and getting things together and getting things moving, it is quite possible. It is quite possible that you're allowed that bottom number will grow.
The bell curve will shift.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the story. We're gonna have a new ABCs. Right now, the ABCs are based on performance. If anyone's getting less than 8 new patients in their light, then you're going to be a C. If you're getting close to it, you're going to be a B. If you're doing it, you're getting an A for light. For Lingo, it's also based on the numbers I told you earlier. They're still going to stay because we want to see how they're performing on that level, on just by eyeballing it. We're going to come out with another algorithm and another kind of system to really place all the practices within that system that we talked about before. And that's the split up. That's the restructure. Any questions before we move on? Can I name everyone on each team? Sure. Let me go back for a second. Hold on. Sorry, I saw that question very quickly. And now you're really testing me, because I like making friends and influencing people. So that's Olga, that's Sarah, that's Jeremy, that's Hannah or Andrea, depending on how you read your email address. That's Lee, that is Elon, and that is Bernard. And I'm not here. I'm not on this sheet. Dove is not on the sheet either. Dove is going to be going between 2 teams. There's also one team that I didn't talk about, which is like part of the special projects team. It's going to be Elon Bernard Yoshi, who is our developer, lives in Israel, who's the developer for the SEO team. Dove and myself will be a part of that, and driving all the special technology and automation that we want for this team. And that's the story. So yeah, Dove's going to be between two teams. I think it's between special projects and growth.
Great.
And that is a story.
Phew.
Yeah. Hopefully this was helpful, and I'm giving you stuff that you haven't heard before. And if you have heard it before, tough. Sorry.
No, you know what, Lenny? It feels like sometimes things are a bit of a shifting sand. So I think it's really beneficial for everybody to hear. Okay, this is what's here, and this is what's this, and what as of today. As of today, May 30th, this is the reality. This is true today.
It's good too, because you speak to a lot of practices at our OD site, and they ask you all these different questions, and it's good to know what we have at our disposal. And there's stuff here that I didn't mention. I didn't mention anything about GetSet Pro. I didn't mention about anything like we have a chat bot that should be done by the end of next week. That we might be able to use. AMP is just about done. I'm doing the final testing today. Before we start worrying about, AMP is our mobile first mobile environment that right now loads on Google, and Google's tracked it as loading in 1.5 seconds, which is super fast. My goal is to get it under a second. I don't know if I'll be able to, but it has everything we need and everything we want inside of it. For that a page, when someone goes on their cell phone and they load a page, it just loads, and it just loads really fast. Because the statistics are you have about 8 seconds to grab someone's attention on a homepage. So if you so a lot of our homepages load in like 3 to 4.5 seconds, especially heavy ones like Empress, Dr. Schmadi's site. I've been testing on that one. That loads in 4.5 seconds. So then you're left with 3.5 seconds to impress. But if it loads in 1.5 seconds, you got a bit, it's like a lifetime, right? It's like a lifetime. Chatbots are those cool little things that you see on the side of the screen with like that little chat thing. You press it open, and not that you're talking to a live person, it's not a chat box, but it goes through the conversation back and forth. So you're able to see what's on a website. Ours can put on any website on the planet, but when it's on our websites, it's being powered by all the data that we have running through SaaS.
Lenny?
Yes.
What I would think would be super helpful would be for us to do another session, maybe in like 3 weeks, when that chat box is pretty much ready, and the AMP and the GetSet Pro, and do another session where everybody's completely up to speed on.
Well, I plan on making videos for those.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna do sessions. This was a little different because we wanted to get talking about product. You want room for questions.
Right.
When you're talking about something like that, that's pretty straightforward. All those other things are pretty straightforward. Like there's no room for interpretation. They're actually, what's great is the reason why this is so important, this kind of conversation, because when you talk about services, you can't touch or feel them. It's just something that, you're telling people about. It's not, but when you're talking about chatbot, I can actually show you what it is. If I talk about GetSet Pro, I can show you what it is. If I show you the review app, it's easy. You can touch it and feel it. It's an actual product. And this is the first time in iCare Pro's existence that we actually have real products to just show and sell, not just services. So it's we're entering a different phase of the company right now, and it's quite exciting. Is there an email address that I can send to that will get to everybody?
sf@icarepro.net. That's the best one to send to everybody at support. If you send it to support, you get into the endless Zendesk loop from where.
Okay.
But SF goes to each person on the support department, their individual email address. So that's best.
Okay, you got it. Okay, great. So I'm going to send you the information and under the optical plus this sheet.
Great.
All right, now I'm gonna include Lauren, even though I'm sure she's seen that sheet because that's the one I got from Evan. Okay. And that might help a little bit. And if Evan had this handout that he sent through the system also about what he talked about with Svi and how they sell things and how they view things. Yeah, but as you can tell, I'm coming from a marketing standpoint, so I sell and do things in a very different way than they do. Because I usually talk from, this is what we're going to do for you, rather than, when you work with your marketer, this is what you're going to do, this is how you're going to, that's going to happen, and that will happen, and you can do this, you can do that, and I'm like, we will do this, we will do that, this is what we're going to do. So it's a different kind of conversation. Not to say that they're both not effective, but when I'm at a show, I find that to be extremely effective, being able to sit down with someone and say, you're working, well, I'm not going to be able to say anymore, but, we're working together for the next 3 months. You know that? Now I'll be able to turn to, that guy took your video, Mark? Yeah, you'll be working with him for 3 months. And then it's like, oh, fine, well, then I'll sign up. And can I have your autograph? And can you sign my arm? Anyway.
Can I have your tattoo?
Exactly. All right, everybody. I'm going to stop recording now, and then I'll cut out all the good stuff.